right, guys, welcome. SharkofTraders here. It's funny, the one of the main things that kind of has came across and we're going to talk about is, we're getting a lot of AMC alerts currently. So it's been a pretty big flow. So one thing I want to do is I want to kind of show you some different things. This one came in today. It did catch my eye a bit, especially with the daily volume. One thing that I don't necessarily like is the expiration here. So if you're really liking AMC, totally okay, because let's go ahead and check out the chart. Chart is actually looking tasty. I mean, today, one thing I want to show you is we have an engulfing candle right after another, two gap ups. Today was interesting. Started off kind of going, pulling back, then we kind of rallied in. We're about to slowly have a TTM squeeze. When people don't know the TTM squeeze, when the the Bollinger Bands breaks out the KC channel, and that's about to happen here. The only thing I don't like is the volume. So we just need to be cautiously aware, but at the same time, what's kind of shown me in the past is big volume spikes happen here where we've had pullbacks and then lower volume with the uptrend. I have a feeling that we're in that same kind of realm. I'm not going to get too far in, but look, lots of volume on this pullback, and now we're kind of trending here and we're going up. So for me, I'm looking for 447 again, a close tomorrow above 447, and then we might start looking at some swings and possibly new highs within the S&P 500. But we're just going to kind of get into charts today. We're going to have fun. Okay, AMC. One thing that you want to realize too is that's why I always like to have the weekly and the daily. Is the weekly here is beautiful. You're almost looking like it's about to finish a cup here. So I'm going to be watching very closely on AMC. Even though when some people look at this like, oh, that's really tasty, I like the ask because it's cheap. I'll be honest, we're getting to the point where in this market environment, things are a little bit rocky. I'll still take options for directional movement, right? Kind of like we have lately, AMC, XPEV, someplace we had today. The one thing that I'm trying to do is I'm not going to pay for cheap things anymore. This isn't, it hasn't set that we're in this crazy bull trend. We've done really well in the sense of rallying the last few days since last Thursday, and that's been awesome in the market. But the one thing that I want to show you in this option, and people don't always understand this. One thing with AMC, I like it, but this option, why I don't like it, and I'm going to show you in particular. Yes, when it's cheap, but you're paying for cheap. The delta is not bad. It's at 0.29. But what you need to compare, and this is crucial for me, I like to usually have a minimum of a 4-to-1 delta to theta ratio. And the reason for that is, look at your theta. Oh man, the theta is pretty high. And the reason why I don't necessarily love this right now is for every dollar movement you get, you're moving 29 cents with this option. That's what the delta is. For every dollar, whatever your delta is, that's what your option is going to be moving with. So say right now, for example, AMC is trading at $43. So tomorrow, if it jumps up to 44, this option will go up 29 cents. But what you need to realize is this theta is killer, minus 19. So every single day, no matter what happens with AMC, it could go up $1 million, right? Doesn't matter. You're still going to lose 19 cents every single day on this option. So one thing that you have to look at is basically if this thing moves $1 tomorrow, this option will gain 29 cents. But after theta, it'll only go up 10 cents. So for me, actually, the AMC play that I would be more interested in would be the other one. So make sure that when you're doing things, so why I like a 4-to-1 ratio is a 4-to-1 ratio means that for every dollar, I'm only going to be losing technically, 25 cents or 25% of that movement. Now, I personally love something way smaller. Now, that's what I'm going to show you. This one is the one that I actually have written down. We love volume here. The daily volume. Now, the one thing that gets me nervous is the implied volatility. I typically look for things that are below 100. Like I said, I don't know if AMC right yet is going to be one, but for the people that love AMC, I want to help you. Let's look at this option. This option, yes, it's much more expensive. $10 more, I understand, but you're getting what you pay for. And what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're paying for this, look what your delta is. So for every dollar this moves, AMC, you're getting 59 cents. And then look at that theta. You're paying, right, to have that theta, okay? So for every day it goes by, you're only losing about 3 cents, 3.5 cents. That's awesome. So that's what I'm fucking talking about. So when you do have a couple dollar move, you're having a nice 59 cents on this option each time. And then if you are in a flat day, right, where maybe the option doesn't move that much, you're only losing 3 cents on it. So pay attention. I didn't realize that when I was talking to some of our community that they didn't quite understand the theta delta relationship. So for me, like I said, I look for 10-to-1, right? That's what I like. 10-to-1 is something that I'm going to be getting into, and I'm happy about it. And like I said, I'll pay a little bit more if that's what I'm into. This is why some people don't quite understand when you're like AMC will have a big move, right? A big move. or even like have a nice dollar move and you're really happy. But if your theta, and there's a couple ones out there that had some nice alerts, if your theta is even larger than your delta, you're SOL. If you, like, for example, if you have a 1-to-1 ratio, right, on your delta to theta, then every single day your stock has to move $1 just to compensate for that theta decay. It's okay to be extending them out. We're not necessarily in that crazy bull trend, even though the last couple of days have been amazing. Things still are choppy a little bit, so I'm playing things a little bit further out, right? So give yourself some time and pay for the theta to be lower, okay? So it's worth it, right? So we're going to get back. This would be the AMC alert that I do like, right? The one thing that I want to show out with AMC just a bit, we're not going to get too much into it, but you guys zoom out a bit. This thing's about to have a TTM squeeze here on the positive side. The Bollinger Bands are about to break out. Once the Bollinger Band probably breaks this 46 level, it will break. But at the same time, if we're making new highs, and this is what I realized with AMC, if volume's picked up, if the market is sexy, we've had some MACD crossovers, so things are starting to look a little bit better. I'm not going to fight trends. You know, it's been kind of hot lately, right? So why fight it? So for me, what I'm going to be doing specifically, now I'm looking and saying, look at this. The opportunity for this bullish uptrend is there. Now, what you have to realize, and this is what I do, because not everyone does it. So this last bullish uptrend, when it did hit the highs, okay, it hit up 72. Well, this one, when it got here, it didn't really get all the way to 72. So it pulled back to 30, right? And almost a 50% pullback, actually a little bit more than 50% pullback, almost 60. But then it rallied back up to, you know, about almost 50%. So almost 100%. So once it pulled back, it did almost rally 100%, right? So what I'm thinking is, I don't know how strong this next rally is going to be. So now we're at 52, and then we pulled back to here about 34. $15 pullback. So maybe, okay, so this movement might get me to this next one, right? I'm just looking at power of move each time. I'm thinking that my target around here would be the power of move at 47 is when I would start taking profits, about halfway with this spike, because that's what it did with this last movement, right? I'm playing things cyclically, right? I'm looking at chart patterns, and instead of things saying that it's going to get all the way back here on the cup, it might finish halfway about the cup, because that's what it did last time. So I'm just going to say that it might finish about the halfway cup around this 45, 47 realm. But there's room to be made. So for me, if we break out of this KC channel right here, okay, around this 44.24 level, I'll go ahead and I'll play this. I'll play it. So once we get in the money, I'll play this 44. AMC one. And I will play it until we break. For me, the key is I'll keep playing it. And then let's go to the hourly. The last hour, if we close below the low of the previous hour, then I'm out. But we didn't do that today. Now it's very close. At this point would probably, I'm playing things daily. I'm still not doing things overnight, but this looks like it might fall back a little bit. But we'll see. If volume picks up in the morning, like it has, if things are trending, then you know, like I said, I believe that we'll run to this 46, 47 realm before we have any kind of issues. It's about 50% of this move, right? So that's what I would be doing on the technical side, right? And then it's almost like making a flag, and then I do believe we'll have a breakout either direction, right? I think that this is kind of where we're going to be going to eventually, and I just feel like it's going to do that. Now, I do believe that we'll probably, like I said, get to this 47 realm and then come back down. But in this bullish trend, I'm probably going to keep looking for that. So this would be the play that I'm looking for. And tomorrow in the morning, like if we have any kind of pullback, you don't need to chase, right? I need to have a new high. So I need to break. I need this to come into the money before I'm looking to play it. But if it comes into the money, I believe that we'll have a run to 46, 47, probably that day. You know, that's usually how AMC works. Usually playing very tight stop loss. Now, for me, everyone's different, but when I go into a trade, I will not risk more than 2% of my entire portfolio. A poll in our community, most of the people had around $10,000 in there. So when you're doing one of these trades, I just will not lose more than $200. Simple as that, right? Extrapolate it out, okay? 100 grand portfolio, I won't lose more than $2 grand. Okay, it's just whatever you're doing, whatever you're trading. Obviously, you can lose more when you have more money to play with and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, for me, I am not going to be losing more than 2%. And then at the same time, I don't risk more than 10% usually. Like, so if my portfolio, right, is at 100 grand, I won't put 10 grand more into one trade at a time. Same thing with a 10,000, right? I'll usually trade, if I had a 10,000 account, when I get back in the day, I'll trade $1,000 at a time. Risking 200. That's kind of that. I do like this AMC play, but that's not one that we're going to get into too tight, even though we kind of did. If this breaks into 44, I'm playing this call, and I'll play it until it breaks to 43.50. So 43.50 on the dock is going to be how I'm doing this. Now, everyone needs to realize how I play options. It's very much directional. What I mean by directional is it's, for the time being, I don't want to get too complicated. Now, I do other strategies, and there's amazing ones, and we're going to get to that, and I'm building out some stuff for us. But for now, it's very much directional. So if we're breaking a certain level, if our trend for the day is hot, right, I'm playing that AMC call. But until we get back into the 44s, I don't need to really worry about this, right? Because look, our theta is amazing. So even if this thing pulls back a couple bucks, right? Well, it'll pull back 59, but then it'll just add the 3 more cents. It's not as critical as when the other AMC call, when you have 2 short term, like this one, the problem is for each dollar, you're losing 29 cents. And then you're adding on top of that another, almost 33%, right, for each loss. So it's not necessarily worth it when your theta and your delta is that close, right? Look for a 10-to-1 ratio. That's what I like. So I hope that helped with AMC, but I wanted to touch on it.